Well, that's kind of weird, but alright. Alright, like this Christmas says, the live stream. I'm just doing this because when I was typing up what I want to say to you guys, it took a while to do. like an hour and 40 minutes. I was like, okay, might as well record it so it doesn't take up too much space on my phone. Well, type it on my computer. Well, type it on my computer. But anyways, thank you so far for all the subscribers that subscribe and help with no likes and sharing of the videos. Wow. Let's keep up the good work and let's make the channel bigger and more tight-knit community. But anyways, let's see here. I kind of ad-libbed that I wrote. Some of you don't know the reason why I decided to start a YouTube career. Well, I'm going to tell you. It all started when I was 11 years old. My dream job was to be a game designer. So when I finally graduated high school, my high school sweetheart got pregnant, so I obviously had to set my dream job aside and get a job and make money to make sure I had no money for our kid and all that. The first job I got was at Perkins. I only had that for maybe about a month before I got fired from it. So I obviously went looking for another job, which I got a job at working at Black Bear Casino, which I say about maybe 2 weeks after that, I get a call from my high school sweetheart. Let's see here. Job. Was actually like working at Black Bear. You had to deal with that many customers, which I think I probably have a. I should have wrote this down. Social disorder or something like that, like social anxiety or something like that. But anyways, because even here where I live, the kitchen's crowded. I'm just like, I wait till it gets uncrowded before I go down and eat. Just don't like being too many people. Well, anyways, get a call from her, and she's at the clinic. Mostly because her mom told her to go to the clinic, and I'm not gonna go too much detail what's happening. I'm gonna let that sink in with you guys. So shortly after that, me and her broke up for obvious reasons, and shit, where the fuck was I, anyways? And we've been together for like 5 years leading up to this point. I kept a job at Black Bear until like the second to last week of September, because a month before that, my sister, my mom's daughter, came and basically asked Mom, not me. I was not even involved in me going back to the cities. But Mom said only if I was allowed to move back to the cities with her and all that. Hence, my sister and my brother, my mom's 2 kids, they don't like me. That's because of my father's son, but anyways, they didn't like my dad. So she agreed. So we moved from Cloquet at the end of September after I worked my 2 weeks notice for Black Bear to they just moved to there. And I'd say about maybe 3-4 months living there, I found me another job working at White Castle. Yeah, that's about right. Like I said, I'm skipping about half the stuff, but oh yeah, when we moved from Cloquet, I was 20, and when I knocked up my ex, it was when I was 19. I only worked at Blacklear for like 5 months. That's a detail in here that I kind of overskipped. Like I said, it's kind of hard to read a script I wrote for myself and remember what I have to say anything. But anyways, but we moved back down to Minneapolis, well, Bloomington, Minnesota. Then, like I said, about 3-4 months after we moved there, I got a job working at White Castle, which sadly that was like the longest job I ever held, next to me having my own lawn cutting grass business, which I've been doing since I was 5. So it was a job when I was going with my ex at the time. I had money, which that's another thing that her mom got wrong about me. That's one thing she hated about me. She's like, she thought I was getting money from my parents at the time, which actually was the other way around. Because I had money until after me and my ex broke up, I kind of said, well, there's no point in saving this anymore. I might as well just spend it whatever the hell I want. But anyways, let's see here. Well, the reason why my sister wanted me, well, my mom to move back to the cities was to help babysit her granddaughter, which is my sister's daughter, which she was, I think, maybe 4 or 5 at the time. Well, her husband goes to work basically free babysitting. Come back to the cities. And Jessica will get a job. You can stay at home and read books all day, because my mom was a big book reader. But my mom also was a restless old lady where the sitting not doing nothing will bore the crap out of her, and she likes reading her books. So she wanted a job too. So basically, she had to get a job that when my little niece, her granddaughter, was in school, she'd be at work and come back in just in time to get her off the bus and all that stuff. So she had a job before it was here. Just make sure I get all this. Yeah, we moved to September of 06, like a year after I graduated from high school. So I'm 20, so you guys got that now. And she had a job within a month after moving to the cities. Like I said, she couldn't just sit there all day and watch her little granddaughter. And some of you that do follow my channel, you know I'm a smoker, so. Tobacco. I used to smoke that, well, still kind of do smoke weed, but not that often like I used to back in the day. But anyways, let's see where we left off. But let's say maybe after me working at White Castle for, I think like 3-4 months, because I got like 3 months after I moved to Bloomington, I got a job too. So I started working, then like a month after that, my mom got sick tired of the job she had. So she wanted a job. First one, she decided to work with me, which my mom kind of babied me ever since, because I'm like the baby of the family. So she worked with me at White Castle for a while. I gotta get back to where I was at. Okay, after 2 minutes. White Castle. Yeah. But my mom worked at White Castle before. It was one of the many jobs she had before. So she already knew how to do that. kind of know a couple of the people that were working there, because they used to work at the castle where she used to work at. It was just down in the cities. But the White Castle I used to work at was down there in Shakopee. Castle 38, if it's still there, I don't know if it is. But anyways, let me and if you're wondering where my dad is, he's in an old folks home. He has Alzheimer's. And before that, he got locked up for something which I'm not going to go into details about. That's how they found out he has Alzheimer's, which is kind of the reason why he got locked up in the first place. Then shortly after, my mom started working with me at White Castle. She kind of wanted to get a place just for me and her. So being all cramped in one place. And before this, we were living at another place with my sister, but we had to move because, one, the landlord was getting on her about us being there. Two, was kind of a small place for, here, 5 people to live in. Sometimes 6 if my nephew came by. Because most of the time he was at his friend's place. But anyways. So, let's say probably like 5 months after I got the job at White Castle, we finally went and got our own place. Went and paid the first month's rent, security deposit, signed the lease and everything. The day that we were moving out of my sister's place, about to pack up the car and all that, which was before we got the Honda Civic, we had a Grand Marquis, but when we were moving from the other place, the Grand Marquis starter died on us, so we had to leave it there and save up to get the money for the part and all that. And the time we got the money for the part, the car was already totaled, so we had to obviously go look for another car. So we got the Honda Civic, which was, that's in here somewhere, I think it was like a 91 Civic SI Coupe. But anyways, the day that we were leaving to pack the Civic up with what we can at the time, so we can move at least some bedding and all that, and some cookware and what have you. My mom collapsed, so we called the ambulance, took her to the hospital, and the next day, after I already moved our shit in there, because she was just exhausted. She was old. She was like 59, 60, somewhere around there when this happened. Go find out she has cancer, which at the time was a new cancer. They didn't really know that much about it. Yep, that's right. What's the messed up thing about this is that's the 6 years, right? Because I was like, what, 15, 14? So 5 to 6 years prior to this, we were living in Wisconsin. She had to have surgery to have her kidney stone removed, and she told the doctors, well, you're in there getting that out. Check and see if there's anything else in there that ain't supposed to be there, because leading up to her getting the kidney stones, she will get seriously sick, like kind of like ammonia, kind of sick, then feel good within a week, which that's one of the symptoms of the cancer. But like I said, at that time, they didn't know what the hell it was. They thought it was, they found it while they were doing her surgery for the kidney stone. And like I said, back then they really didn't know what it was. They thought it was just a growth, so they gave her some antibiotics for it. So 6 years, like it'd be literally like once every month she would get severely sick, like pneumonia kind of sick. So she thought that's what it was. Until take her to the hospital and found out it was cancer that she had for 6 years, and it was just getting worse and worse and bigger. Okay, now. And this cancer, formed in the intestinal tract. But by this time, it was about big as my fist, maybe bigger, in her intestinal tract. But back then, when they found it, it was just like it was a little gross. So that's what he thought was something that antibiotics would take care of. But one time, visiting my mom in the hospital. This is when my sister asked me before I moved everything, but the plans were. I'm like, well, obviously, move our shit into the apartment we just paid all this money for, because we didn't know she had cancer at the time. So she thought, all right, well, this would be a perfect chance, in case it's worse than what we thought, to prove yourself to mom that you can take care of yourself. So I had basically the apartment to myself in a car for about almost a year and a half before her and my sister got into a fight, and she basically said, called me up and asked me if she can move in, even though her name's already released, so she didn't really have to ask. And I had the car for like a year and a half, and I didn't have a driver's license, which I kind of messed up when I was 17. Got a DWI. So do not do any drugs or drink until you're old enough. But anyways, cover that. And my mom, stayed at my sister's while recovering from the surgery and all that. Basically, while I was living on my own. Stop by every once in a while, to visit her on my days off. And when my mom moved back in with me, it would be around, that was around 2007, it's winter, basically, is when she moved in. Well, that was in 2007. Yeah, that was. So I've already been working at White Castle for like a year and a half. I got the job at White Castle during years August or April, one of those two. I just know it was like summer-ish, warm weather. That's all I can remember when I got the job. And I know I quit the job when I was 22. And this wasn't because I got sick and tired of how they were working me too hard, let's put it that way. Plus, no, lack of sleep kind of had an issue to do with that. But yeah, the month I quit working at White Castle was September, and the week prior plus that week, well, the week prior I worked 70 hours, so 10-hour shifts, 7 days. Then that week I worked 68, because that Saturday that I basically had to go back and do a 9-hour shift. I already did a 7-hour 8-hour shift, 11 to 7, and I was supposed to be my own day off, so I was enjoying myself. Then get called like around 3 or 4 to ask if I can come back in, and I was like, do you talk to everyone else yet about this? And like, yeah. I'm like, well, call them again to make sure that they can't make it, and if that's the case, I will come in even though it's my only fucking day off out of 2 weeks. they did, and sure enough, I got stuck in doing their 9-hour shift with only 3 hours of sleep. Because he wanted me to come back in the same day that I was supposed to be my day off at 9 o'clock that night and work till 7 that morning. I quit at 5 o'clock that morning with 2 hours left in my shift. Mostly because a customer said the right thing that pissed me off, and I was like, fuck this, I don't need this shit, I quit. But anyways. Okay, I covered that. But basically in the same month, or it was like a month before September, to drive me around looking for a job and all that shit. She's still working at White Castle. Which occasionally I'll have to drive her to places and stuff because sometimes her medication would get to her and make her a little loopy, so I had to drive sometimes. But she had in there collapsing episode when she was coming back to the car after taking her meds. And prior to this, until she started getting tired and all that, and I told her, like, we can do this some other day. You just go and rest. We can do this when you are feeling better. But no, she insisted. So after she collapsed, hit her head on the door, sat in the driver's seat, started having like seizures. This is the best way I can describe it. But shortly after that, she stopped breathing. Was like called for an ambulance. Had to perform CPR on her for the whole duration while I was waiting for the ambulance to show up. So she got rushed to the hospital. Got put on life support, and obviously I contacted my brother and my sister to let them know what's going on. They come in, doctor explains to us that she's brain dead, and only that's keeping her alive right now is the machine. So basically asked us what we want to do. And they all turned and looked at me and asked me what my mom's wish be. I'm like, I don't know. She's never sat down and talked to me about something like this ever happens. But anyways, we all came to the conclusion, no, because the doctor explained to us she's not going to make it through it. She has internal bleeding, complications because of the surgery, because of the cancer, which they had to remove 3 feet of her intestinal tract to remove as much of the cancer as they could. And so we signed the thing to take her off life support. Had a funeral 3 days later. Had her cremated. She's at one of the forts because she's a war vet. So she's buried at one of the fort places. I can't remember its fort. But yeah, she died on 9/11 of 08. Basically from the stocks that she had, me, my sister, brother, and my dad all got 3,000 and something and change, which I used to have to pay bills and gas money and all that stuff. I was working temp jobs until the second car, by the way, is what I'm driving now at this point, because I think it was 6 months after getting the Civic, the engine seized up on it. And I make sure I checked oil and all that stuff every day to make sure that kind of thing wouldn't happen. But apparently the dude that we bought the car from was a liar, because he said he built the engine. Well, if that was the case, he would have a new crankshaft to the main pulley, so the main pulley won't break off on us twice, so we had to weld on there twice. But anyways, so we bought a minivan off of one of her friends when she used to work at Mystic, a 95 Plymouth minivan, caravan. Yeah, okay, got that. And about maybe near 6 months after that, I fried the computer on it somehow. I don't know how. So, out of a vehicle to get to work and everything every day. Still, no driver license. So I'm surprised no driving 2 vehicles with no driver license over a 2-year period. I didn't get pulled over once. So eventually, I was waiting for my tax return to come. When it finally came to get the car fixed, the house manager towed my car right when I literally just got my tax return check. So I was like, great, so I'm basically out of the vehicle, and you say you want me out of here, obviously, and you just told my only way to get out of here is just waiting for my tax return to get put in the garage so I can get out. So I ended up asking my friend at the time that lived in the same apartment complex, which the apartment complex that me and my mom was living at was in Savage, Minnesota. So only like a few minutes from where my sister was, which that was in Bloomington, Minnesota, and from work was actually Shakopee, Minnesota. So I had him basically drop me off downtown Minneapolis, which is not far from where my aunt lives. So I basically had what I could carry at the time with me. So basically just clothes. None of my game systems or anything like that. So I literally left at least over $1,000 worth of game systems since I had a PS3, Xbox 360. Well, I took the 360 with me, but let the PS3 and the original Xbox and all the games for that. But I had the 360 and my clothes and stuff like that with me. Didn't have a TV, but I was bouncing from couch to couch, my aunt's couch, my cousin's couch that lived down there in the cities, while looking for work. Didn't have no luck, and the landlords, both of them were complaining about me, staying there weeks at a time. Whereas I literally, a week at my aunt's, then a week at my cousin's, doing that for until I was like 22 years old. Or 23. Somewhere around there. Because I moved back to Cloquet. Because I left Black Bear in good terms. Worked my 2 weeks notice. I was like, okay, I moved back to Cloquet. Which I biked from my cousin's place, which was in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. Rode from there 365 miles. While I didn't rode the whole 65 miles, got lost in Moose Lake and got a heat stroke. So I ended up getting a ride from one of the workers there to Cloquet. Like I said, this is mostly just to help me remember stuff. Okay. But yeah, basically moved back to Cloquet thinking I can get my job back at Black Bear Casino. Go find out that was a lie. Even though they straight up told me before I moved, like, if you ever come back, you can get your job. So that's the reason why I said, okay, well, I didn't have any luck in the seas finding a job. Had one that had some experience on, but I ain't got a vehicle anymore, so I figured move back there. I had a lot of cousins and stuff that I can bounce around from when I'm looking for work. But if I get the job at Black Bear, I would have no issues. But that wasn't the case. So, like I said, ended up straight bouncing from couch to couch while looking for work. And when the cousins I was staying at, it's like, so sadly, the only cousin that let me crash at his place, which I think maybe 2 to 3 months. I was sleeping on a tent prior to this, maybe a month, can't remember. But it was like summertime, so it wasn't that bad. But it's almost about getting winter, so moved in with one of my cousins at his place, which he hardly's ever there, mostly because nothing works there except for the electricity. But so winter was kind of bad. But anyways, lived there, and I started getting, applied for food stamps, obviously, as soon as I could. That's where I first started getting my food stamps. And I think after he basically kicked me out, after some point, I lived in a tent during winter for about a month. Turned myself in because I know I had a couple warrants for my arrest at the time, which should have been off my record after serving a day or two in jail, but didn't go away. Let's see here. Did it. I had one job I was there before all that, and I was working at Hong Kong restaurant. That only lasted a month because I was a dishwasher, and that was just way too much work for being a dishwasher at Perkins, just put it that way. Like non-stop work, you don't get a break. So don't ever work at an Asian restaurant not having a break. But anyways, so I was living in a tent, turned myself in, because I was sick and tired of being out in the cold. And prior to that was, before I got kicked out of that, I was working for his dad's boss to clean the work site that they're doing behind the house. Building a couple more houses and things because his dad's a carpenter. So it's winter, so I go out there and make $8 a day, you know, basically just shovel and help put some walls up. So that's all I could do until like, I worked till like noon with helping put walls and stuff, then obviously, you know, go look for a more stable job while I was doing that. Then I eventually finally started getting money on my EBT card. So I was getting 200 food stamps, 200 cash, because I'm a social worker at the time. Well, worker. Convinced the county to, you know, give me the cash so I can, you know, obviously, you know, wash my clothes and all that stuff. Get hygiene products, tobacco. Basically, what I needed, I can't get with food stamps. And I moved to a safe house while they were looking to see if there's any places that will take in homeless people. And that be around, I didn't move here where I'm at now, which is a board and lodge in Duluth, until like 2009. It was kind of towards the end of winter because the snow was somewhat almost gone. So I moved here around 2009, probably like January-ish. But anyways. Then when I moved here, we didn't have any Wi-Fi here for a while. It was like maybe, I think after the first 2 years living here, we all convinced them to finally get Wi-Fi for us, internet. So I went and got me basically a cheap track phone, smartphone, so I can use it to keep in contact with people on Facebook and stuff like that, since I don't have. Well, yeah, this is when the GA went down to like $75 a month, so it definitely happened to afford a regular phone bill at the time. But I was also, you know, donating plasma at the time too at the plasma center down here. Because I did that for about 3 to 4, maybe 5 years while living here. Because I was doing that when I was technically living in Cloquet as well. So yeah, I think it was like probably 2013, 2014 is when I stopped donating. So 4 years, somewhere around there. And the reason why I stopped donating plasma is because my circulation in my arm got messed up. So I was making a little extra money doing that. And now our GA's now $99 a month. Take 3 away for cashing the check at a check cashing place. Only get 96. Then I have to pay my phone bill. Only get 46 to play with. Then I have to get all my hygiene products and all that. I only have maybe $1 or $2 if I'm lucky. But that's basically how I ended up where I'm at now. And the reason why I decided to start doing YouTube is I literally didn't get serious doing YouTube, but like since I created my channel 6 years ago, and it's mostly not to watch our YouTubers for entertainment purposes, because we did have cable back then, and there wasn't really that much to watch on cable either. So even Air TV, there was nothing worth watching half the time. So it's YouTube to find things worth watching. And I've always been a gamer ever since I was 7 years old. The first time ever playing a game system was the Nintendo. So I basically fell in love with it, hence wanted to try that as a career, but didn't really like school that much, hence I didn't have a good enough incentive to graduate high school. Was at the time when my dad had a good job and all this stuff, when we were living in the cities before we moved to Wisconsin, even before we moved to Cloquet. He promised me if I could keep my grades up to at least no B's, that at my 16th birthday he'll give me this card I wanted, which that was a lie. Even when I gave them the money to go get the card I wanted, they still did it. Used the money rather than asking me to. They got me a car, but not the card I wanted. They bought me like a beater compared to the card I wanted, which was a Shelby GT 350. But there's a place down in the cities on Lake. It has classic cars that they sell, and the person wanted 14 grand for it, mint condition, no rebuilt and all that, with the original 350 and all that in it. And the lie was that, oh, your mom said it'd be too much car for you. You know, every car I had, and the car they gave me was an 86 Thunderbird with the money. After paying my dad's fines off with what's left over, they got me the Thunderbird. Then when I got impounded, when I got my D-dub, you know, I was not driving that. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to get impounded, but it's basically a punishment for making a D-dub. Then not even a year later, like I think maybe like 3 to 4 months after, they said they're going to get me in their car, so I gave them money again to go get my car that I wanted. And again, they lied, saying that'd be too much car for you. I'm sitting there looking at my dad like, you know, that's a straight up freaking lie. And she knew what I did with the Thunderbird before I got impounded. That's why I was pissed that I got impounded. Spent a shitload of money in that car to get to 500 horsepower. Did the same thing with the second car I had. Then my mom tore that to the junkyard before we moved down to the cities, which that pissed me off because in their car I spent a lot of money to get up to 500 horsepower and how I wanted it. But anyways, and again, basically they used the money I gave them to pay my dad's fines that he racked up to this point, which I didn't know he did. Then pay what fines I still had left over from my D-dub. So that kind of pissed me off. But anyways, the reason why I wanted to do YouTube, because I was watching, first person I was watching and got addicted to watching was PewDiePie and his gaming channel. Before it became what he is now. Oh my god. I'm like, okay, I mean, not doing any gaming like you used to. At least Markiplier certainly did back in the day. Then I also started following Markiplier after him and PewDiePie did a collab together in some Gmod gameplay. Then a lot of other YouTubers. I'm like, well, maybe I can kind of live my dream of, at least play video games and hopefully sometime down the line make money off while doing that. Alright. Okay. Plus mostly because I just found out how much my dream job would have been, how much work that would have been to do, and I was like, I really don't like school and going back to school, learning all that stuff, the programming, the graphic designing and all that. I'm like, no. Just not me to do all that work. And some of you that are subscribed to my channels, we did subs for subs. I always know our small YouTube channels trying to get as many subs as they can to get their dream going. And I don't know how many other of you that have subscribed. If you are on their YouTube channel, leave your link in the regular comment section of the video, not the live stream, because that'd be a pain in the butt trying to hunt that down. And I will obviously sub back to you. But I have a second channel, so I started at the same time I started this channel, which I never really had any content in, because that was going to be like a collab only channel at the time, but that never happened. So what I want all of you to do, ones that are subscribed now and future subscribers, I'll leave a link in the description section to the second channel, and that basically is to help me literally keep track of if any of you are YouTubers or not, basically. So sometime down the road we can do collabs with each other, mostly because there's like no channels I'm subscribed to that are on the other account, so that will help me out to find your channel easily if you ever want to do collabs. Two, obviously keep track of people subbing to my channel, main channel, which is one. And second, help small channels get no extra subscriber. They're trying to get more subscribers. But anyways, yeah, I did not put live chat on, did I? No, I did not. Okay. Possible collapse in the feature, yeah, mention that. And also leave a comment on the only video that is on that channel, so I know that you did subscribe to that channel, so I know to subscribe back to you, because notifications on YouTube, as some of you may know, is funky. Sometimes we'll let you know that someone's subscribed or not. It's like a 50-50. But if someone comments, that's always a guarantee. Someone leaves a comment, so leave a comment. Wow. Well, that's what happens when you're typing really fast. There's like a lot of mixed spelled words in here in the script. But anyways, second channel. Thanks. Bye. I will be doing a Near Fall stream here, Fall 3 stream around 12-ish, sometime after I have lunch. So hope to see you guys then. Bye.